Good evening, everyone. I want to welcome you to the first session, the first psychic hour of 2024. Oh boy, we have so much happening personally and as well as in our world, and certainly in my business this year and this month. I'm super excited. This is just an amazing time to be alive as we transition from our 3D reality through 4D into 5D, and all of us have the opportunity to evolve and grow together. So welcome. I want to wish you a happy new year and also a happy Valentine's Day. Go out and celebrate, especially with those that you love the most this holiday. Make this a real special Valentine's Day this year. I know I'm planning on doing that. So let me give you a few announcements as I get started, and then we're going to jump right into our regular monthly psychic hour where you get to ask me a question. I have Lisa in our chat room. That's my assistant, Lisa Freeman, and she will be calling on you if you have your hand up. So if you have a question for me, make sure you put your hand up. If you're shy and you don't want to ask your question verbally, I won't see your picture here, but I will hear your voice. If you're shy, you can always type your question into the chat. Lisa is looking at the chat all through this session, so she'll see your question. And if she thinks it has got a lot of interest to a lot of people here, she'll read it out for you. Or if there are a lot of questions that are similar, she'll know that's a question that everybody has, and so then she'll be sure to ask it too. Nevertheless, if you're not shy, go ahead and raise that hand, and I promise you I will get to as many people as I can in this session. What I do, for those of you who are new, and I recognize a lot of repeat names, so some of you are coming back, and by the way, I applaud you. Those of you who have been following me in my work for a while, you just make me feel validated and so special when you do that. So thank you for being here again and again and again. Those of you who are new, thank you for finding me, and I hope that you enjoy this next hour with me. Now, if you're new, and here's a reminder for those people who've been here before, if you are with me tonight and online and you stay until the end, I'm going to give you the opportunity, if I didn't call on you, if Lisa didn't call on you, if I didn't answer your question, you have an opportunity to email me your simple question. And I promise you over the next week or two, I will get back to you. I will answer that simple question. Now, folks, and that question has to reach me by 9 p.m. tomorrow night. That's my cutoff time, by 9 p.m. tomorrow night. And that's only if I didn't get a chance to read you tonight. Okay, now, here are the things I need to know when you get called on or when you send me an email. I want your first name only, because this will be published public on YouTube, so people will see it. So I don't want your last name, I just want your first name. And I want to know what your sun sign is, because armed with that sun sign, I can give you a lot of information just looking at this astrology chart that you see on the screen here, which is called a horary chart. It's a throwaway chart. We cast it just for tonight, and it will answer all the questions for those people who are with me online tonight. Okay, so I need your sun sign to use this chart with you. So I want your first name, your sun sign. I want to know what you're most grateful for in your life right now. I also would like to know your simple question. And when I say keep it simple, that's not just because I want to only answer things that are simple and direct. It's that you're going to get much more accurate information from my guides if your question is narrowed to actually the one thing you want to know, or the one feeling or the one issue that you have. If you're wondering, if your mind is all over the place, my guides will not know what your question really is. They're going to see 100 questions instead of one. So try and keep it simple and direct, and that way you're going to get the most accurate answer. So your sun sign. Oh, and I forgot to say, tell us where you're from as well, because that's always fun to know. We do get people from all over the world here, and so it's always fun to know who's online with us. So also where you're from. Okay, let me give you a little bit of housekeeping of things that I've got going on, and then we're going to jump right into this evening and have a good time. First off, you know, my website is sandyanastasi.com, and you know that because you signed up for this seminar, so that's where you went to sign up. When you're signing up for this webinar, by the way, go ahead and sign up for all of them all year long, because that way you're going to have the links sent to you all year long. And it should be the same link all year, but it'll be sent to you each time. A lot of people forget to do that, and then they're going crazy at the last minute. Hey, Lisa, where's my link? So go ahead and sign up for them all. You can always cancel if you decide that you don't want to make it. I also would like to ask you, especially in the, you know, the internet political weird climate that we're in right now, download the app, because that app will work on any internet capable device. So you can be on your telephone, you can be on your iPad or your smartphone or your tablet or on your computer. Anything that can connect to the internet in any way will be able to get the app. And so that app will always be able to get onto my website. It'll always be able to get onto this webinar and to all of my classes that I teach as well. So download the app just in case that your internet connection isn't working well at home and you have to go out and use some other unusual place to be able to get online. And also don't forget that we have an open community. I added that about a year ago, and it is just absolutely amazing. When I first started out doing what I do, and I was so interested in all things metaphysical, and you know, there was no place, at least not in my world, that I could go and be accepted for the things that I was seeing or hearing or feeling, or my odd views on things that didn't quite match up with everybody else's. And so it would have been, for me, it would have been the most amazing gift in the world to be able to have a community like we have right here online. It's an open community. As long as you've signed up for my newsletter, you can click on it and you can get into it. As a matter of fact, when you signed up for my newsletter, you will automatically invited to join that community. So you already have that in our library. So if you go, when you go to my website, sandyanastasi.com, and you click library, you're going to see open community listed under that heading on right on your smart device or whatever you're on the internet with. And you're going to be able to communicate with other people who've been on the Psychic Hour, or people who are studying some of my classes or some of my clients, and you'll be able to do that communication in a safe environment. No trolls. Okay, there are no trolls on my website, folks. So you can share with people of like mind and not be afraid of having somebody, you know, come back at you or diminish you in any way, shape, or form. Okay, so you know about the open community, and I do hope that you use it. It's really a super, super place to belong to. Okay, my webinar that I did last fall, what's happening in 2024, and that all those things are beginning to unfold now. That webinar is now available on my website to purchase for $25. So if you missed it and you didn't get it, you can still download it. Obviously it's a recording, but you can still get the information. I also want to ask you to please don't forget my Anastasi System of Psychic Development classes just began. They began on January 24th, this past Wednesday. They will continue weekly until the end of May. They are a combination of self-study and online study weekly with me and with Lisa, and we have a lot of teachers of my program that are in there also helping out. So this is going to be probably the best season, the best class for the Anastasi system, I think, that I have ever taught, because we have such wonderful, wonderful support. It's going to be just absolutely amazing. And folks, you should be aware that I am beginning to revamp my work, and in the future, I will be much less present as a teacher in teaching that system. I may come back in here and there to answer questions, but I won't be there on a weekly basis. So if you want to study with me, psychic development, on a weekly basis, folks, this is going to be your last chance. And it is not too late to sign up for that. I'll talk about that again in a minute. If you're one of my VIPs, our next coaching call is April 25th. We just had a coaching call on Thursday, folks. It was absolutely amazing. If you join the VIP, you have access to all the past coaching calls, so you would get a chance to listen to that. Oh my God, we covered so much ground. It was absolutely amazing. We talk about what people are learning. In this case, we talked a whole lot about what's going on in the world in a spiritual sense, which I thought was absolutely wonderful. Now, our next psychic hour, folks, please write this down, is February 25th. Don't miss it, okay? Wait a minute. Yeah, February 25th of 2024, so almost exactly a month from now. And last but not least, I'm going to read my upcoming February specials. I'll be fast. I have a reading and coaching special. It's not just future oriented what's coming, it's also my guides giving insight and information, which is going to help you to deal with things. So it's kind of a combination, reading and coaching. How to handle your changing relationships. This is not the comparison charts that I have on my website. That is also available. If you want to have a comparison chart with you and your lover, you can still go and get that. This is something totally different. This is recognizing that all of us in our world right now are changing. We ourselves are changing. And as we change, how we relate to every other person in our life is being affected. So new people are coming into our lives, people are leaving our lives, we're finding we can't get along with people we used to be able to, we're suddenly not really knowing who or what we want in our life, we don't understand what this confusion is all about. We're changing, we're growing, and so are the people that we attract. So we want to know where our existing relationships are going. How do we help them? How do we make them better? Do we want them? Do we not want them? What's coming into our life in the future? How do we handle it? So it's really going to be interesting. This reading, if you can buy it for either a half hour or an hour. The half hour version is $300, which is my regular price for a reading. The 1 hour version is $50 off of that, so it's only $550. Now, I highly recommend it, and that should be your Valentine's Day gift to yourself. And also, if you have somebody special in your life that you think would benefit from that, who maybe is going through some turmoil in their relationships, well, guess what? That could be a good reading to give to them as a gift for Valentine's Day. Makes a great gift. Now, my second special is a computerized chart. It's called Your Spiritual Path Report. It's only $30, $29.95. That report is a good 30 pages. It's not a little 10-page report, okay? And it looks at your spiritual path and your development and what's going on in your life and where it's going and what you were born to do and to become and what kind of people you're going to draw into your life. It goes on and on and on. It is a phenomenal report. And I chose to offer that for our February Valentine's Day special because even though it's not specifically on relationships, finding your spiritual self, finding what you are all about is truly the key to all of your relationships, so it fits. Now, the third special I have is a little different. I am also a coach. You'll notice that I call myself a soul coach. Well, that's because my guides and I work together in our coaching. So not only do I see the trajectory of where all of your actions and reactions are going and taking you, but because I also understand you, it's amazing. My guides, it's like they're inside of you looking out. I understand you when I do that reading. And so what happens in our coaching is that they'll show me all of these different possibilities in your life. And of course, you're going to say, these are the things I'm working on right now. My guides will say, well, this is a good one. This is a good one. You know, you can't move forward with this until you do that. And you might say, oh my God, I didn't even know that existed. So you see, we get into things that a coach that is not also a psychic and a channel cannot get into because they don't have the capability of seeing those things. So not only do we see the obvious and help to guide you through those things, but we also see the things that nobody knows about except your own guides and your own higher self, okay? And so this is a very, very special coaching package. A half-hour session with me is $300, which you can book just a half an hour session to get a feel for it. And during that session, we would actually set up what you would do if you booked 3 1-hours, or if you booked 6 half-hours. We'd set up, these are where these next sessions would go, because these are the things that you are working on. So if you're somebody who would benefit from coaching at this time in your life, and you know if you are, look into that. And your first session, its payment and its time would count towards whatever package you chose, okay? You can find those packages on my website so you can see what they are. Now, the fourth special is what I talked about before, the Anastasi System of Psychic Development. That class has begun, but it's not too late to jump on board. We've only had our one session. It is going to be amazing, absolutely amazing. It's a small class. My classes are never more than 30 online. This class, I think right now, is around 21 or 22 people. So it's not quite full yet. I have some openings. And let me tell you, it will be the greatest gift you have ever given to yourself in your life. The cost of the program is $3,000. A payment plan is available. You can connect with Lisa. She can help you to work that out. If you have taken this class before with me, and we do keep the records, or with any of our other teachers of the system, and again, they keep records, so we can check that for you if you don't remember if you did it or not. Repeat students will only pay $1,500. They get to come in for half price. And again, even then, a payment plan is available to make it as easy as possible for you. Folks, if you're on the fence about taking psychic development, it's time to get off. It really is. You don't want to miss this. Okay, Lisa, I am ready to begin working with people. So who is our first lovely, wonderful victim for this evening?
I just love that word. Our first victim tonight is going to be Brandon.
Oh my, Brandon, it's been a while, a couple of months at least since I spoke with you. How are you doing?
Hello. It has been a while. I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm good. Okay, so Brandon, where are you calling from?
So I'm calling from beautiful Rancho Cucamonga, California.
Okay, and what's your sun sign?
I'm an Aries.
Okay, so folks, if you look at this is my cursor. I've got it over in the blue so you can see it. Aries is this house cusp over here, which is the 8th house cusp, and you'll notice 14 degrees and 58 minutes is on the cusp. Each sign contains 30 degrees, so this is exactly halfway through the sign. So half of Aries, and this is half of Brandon, and half of any of you who are either an Aries, a Libra, a Cancer, or a Capricorn is really, really focusing on your relationships. And right now, you are very confused about your relationships. And the other half of you, and I don't mean half of the people, half of you yourself is focusing on money and business and work and growth and making sure you're legal about things and organized and really, really working towards creating a healthy future. And this part is really nice because this part of you is involved with doing a lot of healing. And there's an enormous amount of personal growth in that healing. So part of you is really focusing on both your finances as well as your partner or mate's finances if you're married or if you're living with someone. And part of you is focusing on the act of relating itself. And here's the problem with the relating. You are changing. Your partner is changing. That's because we have Neptune in that 7th house and we have the moon opposing it over there in the 1st house. So even though they're not in Aries, they're affecting that whole relationship axis. And you know what you want emotionally, you think, but you don't really know who your partner is. And you know, it doesn't matter if your partner has been with you for 30 years or 5 days, or if you're without a partner. You're just confused about who are they now today. Okay.
Yeah.
Are they with me or are they not with me? Can I count on them? Can I not count on them? How am I doing, Brandon?
Uh, spot on. Spot on. Um, so wow, you hit on so much right there. It's funny because I was messaging Lisa in the chat and I was like, I feel like I've been on the back burner and uh, really just kind of muted myself, like taking in everybody else's choices and their decisions, just kind of like watching. And I feel like I've been in this, shall I call it a holding pattern, like really knowing my boundaries and not really overstating anything, just kind of staying hush, knowing full well how certain interactions are going to plan out.
Mhm.
And it's funny, I can't even raise my hand in this app because I was like, oh, that must be a sign. And my question is really what's going on? Because I feel like, and I know you've said change, and I'm like, okay, so I've started doing my meditations again because I did walk away from it a little bit. And so I've been trying to get back into doing some meditations, and I just feel, should I say stuck? Like I can sense that I'm grounded. I can sense the power from above. I can feel the energy shifts, and I just I feel like there's a wall or like a decision that I haven't made. But and that's the other weird thing is ever since I moved from Florida out here to California, I have felt I have been predetermined in these decisions that I've made to get to where I am without thinking fully through how I got here or why I made that decision. It's been uh, automatic, right?
Uh-huh.
So,
I hear what you're saying.
yes, and it is very profound to me to be at this point of a point of reflection and then wonder what is going on.
Well, I have a question for you.
Hmm.
So you've been following what felt to you like your intuition without thinking, without getting in your own way, and just making these moves and choices and decisions. Are you happy with where they've led you?
About 95%, yeah.
Okay. In which case, I would say keep doing it. And I suspect, remember I said that, half of you is really happy and has gone through a lot of healing,
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
other half of you feels very lost and uncertain and unhappy, and that has to do with your relationship. Okay.
yeah.
So, and without getting too personal, okay, you're I just want to say, I don't. My guides are showing me somebody I read a long, 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 long time ago, and I'm going to share her story with you. No names or anything. I don't even remember who
Hmm.
she was, but it's a similar thing. She had this absolutely incredible relationship going, and the guy was moving to Texas. Now she was an attorney. I don't remember what he was, but he was going to Texas whether she went with him or not. So he went. And she had this wonderful business going in Florida. And she couldn't help herself. She just dissolved it and she went to Texas because the love of her life was in Texas. And when she got to Texas, she discovered that, you know, he had a whole big life over there that didn't include her. And he wasn't really, really all that interested in her. And what she thought was going to be, wow, a perfect relationship forever and ever and ever, really wasn't the complete wonder. I mean, it could have gone on, but there wasn't the meat to it that she expected it to have. It wasn't,
Hmm.
she wasn't on cloud nine anymore.
Right,
And
absolutely.
she stepped back and she said, well, what is this all about, Sandy? And I said, well, what are you doing in Texas? And she said, well, I've joined this legal firm and I'm doing this, this, and this, and I'm an advocate for that, 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 that. And I said, could you have done any of those things in Florida? And she thought for a minute and she said, oh, absolutely not. I said, are you really thrilled about your career? Have you found a new direction that you never intended? Oh, absolutely. I said, are you
Hmm.
glad you moved to Texas? Oh, she said, I never realized I moved to Texas because I belonged here. You see,
Right.
so my guides are showing me her. because her situation in some way is yours.
I think that's very relatable, and I think I understand exactly what you're saying.
Okay, so you may very well be, no, I'm not saying you should ditch your partner, but I think you may very well be expecting things of your partner because things, new vistas, new worlds, new opportunities are opening for you and you're so excited about life. And you're expecting that the people close to you, especially your partner, are going to be on board with that.
Right.
And they're just living their lives in a whole different direction. And they have no idea what you're about, you see?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And there's the discrepancy. So you actually have two different questions here, don't you? You have the what's going on, and the what's going on with your career and your life direction, you are really on top of, you're following your intuition, you're right with it. But the what's going on in your relationship, you don't have a clue.
Yeah.
Now,
Facts.
the interesting thing about that is that's the reason why I have my coaching reading this month, okay, which is about relationships, because it's not just you who are feeling this way. There are so many people. You see, your life growth has carried you off in this direction. Your partner's life growth either hasn't hit yet or is carrying them in a different life direction. It's not that there's not love and affection there. It's that you are, unless you make an effort to rediscover one another, you're losing the relationship. And
Hmm.
you can feel it happening, and that's very disturbing to you.
Yes.
But it should be obvious to you that if you just keep sitting there on your hands and observing things, it's not going to work. So what do you think you have to do?
Well, decisions and choices and such.
And isn't that what relationships are all about? All
Yeah.
relationships are about good give and take. What you've discovered is that you can have everything you want in your career if you do it by yourself.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
But a big part of you wants to have someone to share that with. And apparently you thought when you moved out to California you were going to have that. And you found out you don't.
Well, I wouldn't say that fully. I just part of me thought maybe I could redesign things differently, and then things kind of came to light as to, oh, your idea didn't meet my idea. So
That's it.
yeah.
So the next step is really to sit down and really listen to each other. Not one person listen, one person talk, but listen to each other, right?
Hmm.
And not just listen with your physical ear. What are the dreams? What are the desires? Listen with your heart. Listen with your intuition. Listen to your partner with those faculties that you listened to that brought you to this job that you love. Listen that way. Listen with your heart. And you're going to know from listening if you can still have that special something in the relationships, but you're both going to have to give a little. You see, that's the way
Yeah.
relationships work. And I suspect that you're both either you're both trying to completely please each other, in which case you're not listening, or you're both trying to change each other, in which case you're not listening.
Right. I think,
So,
yeah, I think there's a lot of not listening going on.
right. So there, what
Yeah.
do you think? What do you think my guides are telling you?
Yeah. Listen.
Listen, Brandon, thank you so much for that first question. That was a big one, and it's hard to come. Everybody give them a hand because it's hard to come online and ask a question that is going to end up talking about some of the things that are most emotional to you in your world. It's really hard to ask those questions, and I really appreciate your being brave enough to do that.
Absolutely. Thank you, Sandy.
You're welcome. Let me know how it works out. Listen. And Lisa, who is next?
Alrighty, our second victim for the night is going to be Marcia. Marcia, can you unmute?
Yes, I am.
Hello, Marcia.
Hi, Sandy. So nice to see you.
Likewise, I'm glad you're here. So, where are you calling from, Marcia?
Presently, I'm calling from Conyers, Georgia.
Oh, not too far from us, just far enough north to be a little colder. We're
Right.
staying home tonight. Yeah.
And
And
I,
what is
I'm
your sun sign?
Sagittarius.
Okay, let's find you on our Horary chart over here. Okay, and again, half of you, you're divided in half again. Half of you is all about communicating and talking and teaching and learning and growing and listening. And the other
Mhm.
half is really all about staying at home and dealing with your family and keeping warm and being around the people you love and care for. So, what are you most grateful for in your life right now?
I've got so much to be grateful for. It's hard to list it all. My life in general. 2023 was a difficult year. My dearest four-legged friend passed, and my mom passed in May,
Mm,
back in spirit, exactly to the day 2 years after my dad passed.
wow.
But
Hey,
it's
I'm very, very sorry for your losses. That's hard. It's always any one of those is a hard one, but when they all feel close together like that, it makes it really triple difficult.
Well, it makes you say every day is precious. And for
Yeah,
me, that has been a great gift that they all three gave to me, that every day is precious and not to waste it. And I have the question I have a wonderful practice, and I have been trying for almost 2 years to sell my property to move to South Carolina, Aiken, South Carolina. And it's been a real bumpy ride, but I have uh, what I think is a good situation right now for a contract. So I was just wondering what you might see for me, because Aiken really represents everything I've dreamed about for my life at this point.
this is interesting because I'm getting that. I do see you selling your property, and I see you getting what you need for selling the property. It looks like financially this is all going to work out.
Yes,
It was a lot of work getting that property into shape to sell, wasn't it? It's looked like wow, you were really carrying that load for a while,
yes, sir.
but it's very close to being putting it down. I get a 10. I don't know if that's 10 days or 10 months, but I do see it selling.
Right.
And I see you getting your buyer with the right money. But when you say you want to move, you said to South
Aiken,
Carolina,
yes, Aiken, South Carolina.
and I keep getting no. Are
Hmm.
you sure where you want to move? Is there an alter? Is there a secondary?
No, I'm from New Hampshire, and I've got quite a community there.
Mm-hmm.
Also, would it
Well,
enhance my practice?
well, let's see. Will you be actually in South Carolina? Yes, maybe it's just a town. I
Oh,
see you in
wait,
South Carolina. I don't see you there.
it's Windsor, South Carolina, not Aiken. Windsor.
Okay, will it be Windsor, South Carolina? Okay, yes. Okay,
Sorry.
wrong town. I'm telling you. I remember I said when you ask your questions, they have to be simple and direct
Yes.
because my guides are going to answer exactly what you asked.
All right.
Okay. So yeah, they see this happening and they
Awesome.
see it as they're showing it as a tremendous relief for you.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's going to be a great release of pressure. I want to spend a little bit of time on the chart here. As a Sagittarian, if you're a Sag, if you're a Gemini, if you're a Virgo, if you're a Pisces, you're all going to be experiencing this. There is an opposition going on between that Virgo moon and that Neptune, which is over here in Pisces. Now, since you are a Sagittarius, that's completing what we call a T-square in astrology.
Hmm.
And that energy is going to be coming out right here on the midheaven, between the house of the move and the travel and the house of the career and opposing the home. Isn't that interesting? So
Yes.
all the energy for answering your question is coming out into yes, change, yes, long distance move, plans, travel, yes, change in career. You didn't mention that, but there will be yes, changing where the home is at, i.e., all of this is going to be changing. And I have a feeling you said you were in New Hampshire first before you moved to Georgia.
Right.
But how long have you been in Georgia? Because it almost feels like you got really locked in there.
Yes, I've been here. Actually, I have the contract now. Looks like I'll move in March. I actually bought the house in March of 2012.
Wow. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Yeah. Okay. So you did get locked in. I
Yes.
mean, this doesn't look like it was a short little time there. You
No,
got
no.
stuck.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this is going to work very well for you. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm very happy for you.
Thank
And
you.
good luck with your move.
Thank you. I follow synchronicity, and it just seems to be, even though you think in 1 minute, that doesn't seem like it's going to fit, but it ends up working out very well.
Well, that's kind of what Brandon was talking about before. Relative to his career, he just followed, moved, make this move, this move, this move, this move, this move. His brain didn't get in the way. He just took the action as it unfolded. He said it was almost like meant to be. And when you go with the flow in life, that is the way it works.
Yeah.
And when it's not working, it usually says that in some way you're in your own way. Either you're resisting something, or you've set up some block in your life, or you're not quite, a lot of times people get messed up because they aren't clear on what their desire is. So you want this, but you also want this. And since those two things aren't the same because they're different, you don't get either. You just sit, which I think
Right.
is what happened to you in Georgia all this time. It's like, I
Yeah.
want this, but I want this, but I want this. I want this, but I want this. So, and I think your family also kind of locked you in. So, and
Right.
that also created part of that discord, you see?
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Yep.
you're absolutely right. I've been in a quandary in the middle of everything, and trying to decide what I'm going to do. But in the meantime, I don't believe in accidents or coincidences. So I met a lot of amazing people. So I was anxious to hear, the 10 days is actually spot on, because the house goes into appraisal tomorrow. So
Oh, awesome.
yeah,
Awesome.
so it's wonderful.
I'm
Yeah,
so happy for you. You're going to have a wonderful Valentine's Day. It's going to be special this year.
it's going to be spectacular. Really.
Yes, it is. So good luck to you. Thank
Thank
you
you.
for
Thank
calling.
thank you. I really wish you all the best in 2024.
Thank you. You too.
Okay.
Uh,
Bye.
And Lisa, who's our next person?
All right, lucky number 3. I can find her way down here. Paulette. Paulette, can you unmute?
Yeah, hi.
Hi, Paulette.
Hi, Sandy. It's great to chat with you. Thanks for taking my call.
You're welcome.
Calling from Newfoundland, Canada, and I am a Taurus. Wondering, career-wise, what I have an inkling of what I should be doing. Wondering how to do it.
You know,
Where I'm supposed, I don't know if I'm blocked or if there's something I'm missing or what it
no, you're
is.
not blocked. You're just waiting for the right time. Okay.
Okay.
One of the interesting things that I do, even as you were being called on, I was already drawing some cards. So I'm working with the Horary chart, but I also have cards here. And I want to show you what the cards say, because the cards were answering your career question before you even asked it. Okay.
Right.
Um, First off, I drew the moon, and it was right side up. This talks about
Mm-hmm.
it being a very emotional time period for you. And that's not a surprise. Can I ask you, Paulette, are you married or single? You living with someone?
Uh, just hand fasted.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
congratulations.
Thank you.
And that accounts for the very emotional time period. You see that? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
there's all this emotion around you, and it's not just you. Your partner is just as emotional as you are. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to go
Also
now.
Taurus.
Yep. And right now, if you look at the Taurus in the chart, I'm going back to the chart here, Uranus, which talks about major changes, and it feels like one or the other of you either has traveled the distance to be with the other, or the two of you
Absolutely.
are planning on moving a distance, okay, or it could be both. but there's
No.
some major changes in life happening here that include lots of distance, lots of travel. And
Yep.
Taurians have a little difficulty with that.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, Taurians like
He
to get
traveled
done
right
quick.
across from the other side of the country
Wow. Okay.
after
And,
33 years after we met.
oh my goodness. Okay, I'll say that's a
Hmm.
big change, a big shift. And so for
Yeah.
you, that shift in making room in your life for somebody that you were seeing intermittently, and for him, there's a total change of environment and a change of the bedrock he's on. And for earth signs, that's important. And
Hmm.
there's also Jupiter here, which talks about travel too. I'm going to put my head out there and on a, you know, on the chopping block and say, I don't think you're going to stay where you are. I think you're going to continue to move and travel.
Hmm.
Now, I don't know if that's going to be for fun or if that's going to be going back and forth between those two localities, or perhaps if you're going to find a third locality that's situated, it feels better for you both. Okay. But
Hmm.
this doesn't have the feeling of stability that Taurians really like. And so that's creating a lot of this emotional stuff, you see?
Hmm. Hmm.
Now, yep. Now, the second card that I pulled is all about the Hanged Man. And again, he's right side up. And this talks about you not really wanting to rock the apple cart or make any major changes in things right now because you want this time to be very special and you want both of you to be able to move into this new life together smoothly, okay?
Hmm.
And so there's a big part of you that's super emotional and keeping that emotion under wraps and trying to be
Hmm.
perfect and keep everything just easy between the two of you and in life, right? Now,
Hmm.
after all that is said, the third card I pulled is the business card. Here's the Three of Pentacles, right side up. This says I'm either making a giant move in my career or I'm starting my own business. I've got this big opportunity going on here. I'm part of a team. It's a team effort. This is what all my dreams are all about. I'm putting so much energy into that. And, that doesn't quite fit in with the strong emotion and create the stable new life together.
Right.
So remember what I just said about when you're moving into a future, when you're making choices that have to do with the flow of your life, and you've got something over here that you really want, and you got something over here that you also really want, but the two things aren't quite in sync, the universe doesn't do anything. It
Hmm.
said, I can't give her this, and I can't give her that, so I'm not going to give her anything. We're just going to sit back and wait until she makes a choice. Okay?
Mm.
So the whole thing about your business being static, it's not static. All the things you dreamed about and all the things you planned, they're still out there. You just have to make up your mind that you still want them. And I guess the big question I have to ask you, and please forgive me for this because I know we're in a public place here, but how come you're feeling like the development and the forward momentum of your career doesn't work with this new relationship?
Mm.
Yeah, you see, that's the block you put there. Why do you feel it can't?
Mm.
You see?
Well, there's
Because,
no reason why I can't. But
right.
I never thought. Yeah.
Well, yeah, as soon as you somehow feel like you have to make a decision. Do I want the career or do I want the man? It's like in your head, you have to make a decision. Was there a
Hmm.
past, and you don't have to answer this on air, but ask yourself, was there a past time in my life where I chose the career and lost the man, or chose the man and lost the career? Is that why I've set this up in myself that I feel like I can have one and not the other? Because I
Mm.
agree with you. I don't think there's really a need to make a choice here, but your psyche does.
Mm. Interesting.
Yeah, something to get to the root of. And as soon as you get to the root of that, as soon as you realize that the man is going to be on board with the career, or vice versa, the career is going to be on board with the man, as soon as you get that through this, the blocks are going to be released. They're going to be gone.
Right.
Yahoo. Okay.
Yay.
By the way, money looks good. Jupiter's up here in that eighth house. So if you're a
Hmm.
Taurus, an Aquarius, a Scorpio, or a Leo, what I'm saying refers to you. I see opportunities coming all around you. Some of them are coming from a distance or involving the internet. And I'm
Mhm.
also see, and they have to be taken. Okay, if you want that opportunity, you have to take it or it's gone. And also opportunities are kind of short-term opportunities. So you got to get in, do your best, enjoy it, and then get out. Unless you do something really solid, like investing a lot of money or buying a huge building or something like that. Opportunities coming right now will last about 2 years and then morph and change into something else. But the finances look, although they look like a roller coaster ride, okay,
Mhm.
the roller coaster is going up. Okay,
Okay. Yeah.
up, down, up, down, up, down, but generally it is up. Okay. They're also, again, if you're a Aquarius, a Taurus, a Scorpio, a Leo, watch the health of some of the people around you that really care about, because health issues are indicated here. Now, if there's somebody older who you're expecting to pass, there could also be a will involved or legal things involved that you become part of. Um, Likewise, if you are, starting a business, be real careful about the legal situation. Make sure those T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. Okay. Okay. Now,
Mhm.
yeah.
Wonderful.
Okay, and I'm going to let you go because I'm hearing the television in the background and it's getting a
Oh,
little
sorry.
weird. Okay, so good luck to you. It seems like life is getting better and better. Who's
Yes. Thank you.
our next person?
All righty. Lucky person number 4 tonight. Again, if I can find her, my mouse is doing weird things. Diane, can you unmute? Diane, are you there?
Hi, it just blocked out, so I didn't catch the name.
Hi,
Uh,
Diane.
Hi. Yeah, I have a cat question. I had a series of uh, health issues, not super.
Hold it, Diane. Diane, let's go back to the beginning. Okay. First off, where are you calling from?
I'm sorry, I'm so anxious of trying to get you, not
Uh-huh.
taking up your time. I'm sorry. I'm a newbie, so I'm not sure of the whole routine.
Okay,
But
I'll guide you.
I actually live in Italy, but I'm in California right now, and I'm a Leo.
And where did you say you normally live?
Italy.
Italy. Oh my goodness, you're a transplant for sure. Okay.
Yeah, and so I'm so happy that I'm getting a chance to talk to you because
That's
normally
great.
I would
Yeah,
not be
and
able to. But
and
truthfully, oh, I'm sorry, what were you
you
saying?
said you're also a Taurus, right?
I'm a Leo. I'm a
Oh, a
Leo.
Leo. Okay. So
Yeah.
that's where the fixed sign is. Hold on for a minute because I want to show you this. I want to show everybody this. Leos, Taurians, Aquarians, and Scorpios. Remember I talked about travel? Okay, travel, change. Look at her. She's from Italy. She's in California. Tell me if that doesn't fit what's going on with you guys. If you're
Oh,
a
yeah.
fixed sign, there are sudden opportunities that involve more travel around you. You may not want them, but the opportunities could be good. And there is money involved with those travel opportunities, but you have to be willing to give up some of your creature comforts to give them. Also, I want to show you something else I didn't show you before. Uranus and Jupiter are in Taurus, bringing opportunities your way. That's trining into the Virgo moon, because that's Earth, and that's trining into the Mercury and Mars in Capricorn, because that's Earth. This whole next month, you guys have a grand trine in the Earth signs. That's like having an angel on your shoulder. So financially, the things you want are coming your way. Emotionally, the things you want are coming your way. The social, the family, the things that you follow, the universe is lining itself up right now to bring you happiness. You
Hmm.
got it? This is a good time ahead. Okay, so what is your question?
Yeah, so I had about a year and a half of some health issues that, after a while it started to kind of eat away at me, and I literally felt my spirit going down, which doesn't happen that often. And the day before my birthday, and my birthday has some negative connotations, this little cat shows up and nobody can figure out where he's from. He's hungry, he's lost. So I'm not a cat person, but he like spoke to me. But he didn't just speak to me, he spoke to everyone. He was like this magical little cat. And it just changed me. It was like a medicine or something. He just like if I was a god and deciding what does Diane need, I'm going to send her a cat. I can't
I
send her
love.
a diamond ring. I'm going to send her this cat. This cat was so unique. And because I do come back to the States, our neighbor and I shared the care, and she was watching him during the winter. And unfortunately, he was hit by a car. So it was a very brief, sad thing. But on the other hand, I just had such a strong feeling. I have a friend who has a cat rescue, and she told me, she said that cat was, they find you. And the whole thing, it wasn't just light to me, it was just something very intense and had a very spiritual feeling. But I don't know, I just kind of wanted to get some feedback from you about this because it did have a little sad ending, but at the same time, he was such a gift. And I just kind of wanted to hear what you had to say about it.
Well, first of all, just in general, animals, okay? Animals are healers. You know, dogs, cats especially, because they've been domesticated for so many thousands of years, but they don't have judgments the way people do. They live in the moment. They don't hold grudges against you. They love you or they don't like you. But if they love you, no matter what you do, they love you. You follow? You were at a time in your life when you needed someone, something in your world that could give to you unconditionally. And that little being could do that. Apparently, you gave to him as much as he gave to you. You see what I'm saying? So he opened you up again. And, you know, what I pick up is that you weren't just physically sick with a lot of different things. You had gone through a whole lot of emotional turmoil. There was a lot of, there had been a big mess in your life. Okay.
Yeah,
And,
there's a lot of heavy stuff going on.
right. And all that, the thing is that all that emotional stuff, this is important, folks, to pay attention to no matter what sign you are. When you have all this emotional stuff going on, ultimately, if you don't work your way through it, it turns into physical illness. Okay. Unfortunately, that's the way we human beings work. So if you have years and years and years behind you of anger or frustration or hurt or pain that hasn't been addressed about a situation or about a person or about money or about, I mean, it could be about anything. But if you have that and you've got it stored up in you, and you haven't been able to work your way through it, it's going to come out in physical issues. Okay. And I
Hmm.
think that's, you know, everybody in the world's got things going on right now, but I think, you know, my guides are saying that's what was going on for you, is that it was the time to work through this stuff. And you got this little guy who was going to love you unconditionally no matter what was going on, no matter whether you were angry or whether you were crying, whether you were happy or sad, whether your emotions were up or down one day, that cat was going to be just there. Okay, usually playing with you because he was still, apparently he was still a little bit of a kitten. He played a lot. Okay,
Yeah.
that was exactly what you needed. Now I'm getting something that this is going to sound totally weird, but there was a man who died in your past that you were very close to. He sent the cat.
Wow, that's like really amazing, Sandy, because the reason why oh wow, the reason why I felt so strongly about the timing, it was the day before my birthday. And I have had this thing in my life because my father passed away 2 days after my birthday. And there was always this association. I mean, that was when I was 10 years old. You are,
Yeah,
that's
he sent
amazing.
Yeah.
And he was a healer. He was a doctor.
Oh, that makes sense. And I think, now please forgive me, but I think the reason the cat left you wasn't just because it got hit by a car, but because it was time for it to leave you. Um, you you were traveling back and forth. You couldn't take the cat. You
Right.
follow? So it was
Mhm.
time. Its job was done. It was time for it to leave. If you believe in reincarnation, I think you do, um, you will have that cat back again. The same one. It'll come back. Okay. But it'll come back to you during a time when you're more settled, when you're not all over the place traveling, where things have settled down. That could be quite a few years from now because it's
Mhm.
you're gonna be having this crazy life now for a while. It's not going away real soon. About,
Yeah.
I'd say
There-
about at least another year and a half, maybe 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I could see that definitely. So that's spot on. Wow.
So good luck to you. And in the meantime, if you're going to get an animal, get one you can stick in your pocket.
Well, I have two little dogs,
Yeah,
and I was never a cat lover, but this cat was just different. Just very different.
yeah, yeah. And also independent. Cats are different than dogs. They're
Yeah.
different. They have an independent nature, you know.
Yeah.
So that was a cat that wouldn't encourage dependency, but would be there to be unconditional. So
Yeah. Wow.
enjoy what kind of dogs do you have?
I have two little teacup poodles,
Oh, I love them. They're beautiful. Yeah.
and they came to me at a difficult health period also many years ago. So it just, I don't know, it seems like there's this animal thing.
And I'm asking, will your health be okay this year? And you know that your health is still up and down. You still have to
Yeah.
watch it. You're aware of
Yeah.
that. And I'm hoping I mean, it's up and down, but it's mostly up.
Yeah.
Okay. Another one of those, right? You know,
Hmm.
you coming, my husband's like that. His sister once said, only cats have 9 lives, but you're on your ninth cat. Okay.
Yeah.
And you're like him. I think that you've been at the gates of death for many times, and you just sort of pop back up again, and there you are.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to have one of those experiences again. Okay.
Hmm.
I think they were there in your life because you needed them for what you're going to do in the future. But you have with your if you pardon me for saying this, but it's time for you to look into holistic medicine for self-healing. Find a doctor who's holistic and work with them.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay. Hmm.
Extremely important.
Yeah.
Mm, okay.
Okay.
Good luck to you.
Well, thank you so much. This has been
You're welcome.
wonderful. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now. And Lisa, I think I have time for one more person.
Well, if you're sure, we're going to let that one more person be Kim K. Kim, can you unmute?
Oh, hello.
Okay.
How are you?
I'm good, Kim. How are you?
Oh, good. My sign is Aries. From
Uh-huh.
I got a question. I haven't been speaking to my daughter for 2 years, and she recently wrote me basically saying, don't reach out anymore. So I've been trying. I'm trying to give her a space to heal, like I'm trying to heal. So I don't know how that's gonna go for the next year.
Well, will the healing happen? The healing will happen. And the only thing I can Kim, what sign did you say you were? You're an Aries, I think?
Yes.
Okay. What's interesting is that up here in the eighth house, which is a Scorpio house, has a lot to do with money and sex, but also has to do with legal things. All those things may be affected by that, or that will affect that relationship with her. But Chiron is the healing planetoid that's very promising, and there's the North Node. You hearing me? A new approach is required for you and she both to achieve healing regarding that relationship. I think one of the reasons that has been so very painful is that you and your daughter aren't just mother and daughter, you're soulmates. And unfortunately for you, that soulmate relationship interferes with your other relationships. So your relationship with your daughter, for you, interfered with your relationship with your close friends, with your husband, with the people around you. And likewise, her relationship with you interferes with her relationship with her husband, with her people who are her friends or her children. You guys, your connection to one another is so intense that it upsets everything else. So the only way that the relationship actually can be healed is for you to become totally independent of one another and find yourself away from one another. I don't know if I'm making sense to you. And
Yes,
then,
I do, because there's only certain amounts of times I can spend time with her, because she's like my husband, my ex-husband. He was a Sagittarius too, and that's what she is too. So it's very interesting dynamics, and she got the similar energy as he got, and it's like, no, no, no.
yeah, well, the similar energy is that, you know, when you and she are in the same room together, she's fighting people over you and you're fighting people over her. You
Yeah,
follow? And
yeah.
the root of it is your connection to one another, which is not the normal mother-daughter relationship because you're soulmates.
Okay.
You know, there's an energetic connection there that other people feel, and the people who are close to you are trying to peel you off of her, and the people who are close to her are trying to peel her off of you. And you get it? And
Yeah.
so
Oh, yeah.
you end up blaming each other for things that aren't even real because all these other people in your lives aren't able to handle that relationship. So you got to become whole without her. Like it's okay if she's not in your life. She's got to become whole without you. It's okay if you're not in her life. You got to find yourselves, and then you'll be able to relate to one another without bleeding energy into one another.
Okay, yeah. Because I can take responsibility of my own doing that didn't help her at all, but I don't think she sees that, which I can't do nothing about.
Well, she will eventually. Right now, hey, she's a lot younger than you are. Right now, she's blaming you for everything.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. And you know, you can't change it, so why worry about it? Okay.
Yeah.
Life has a way of making these things work out themselves. You know, the picture
Yeah.
that I'm getting is that all the things that she blamed you for, she is going to eventually get blamed for herself by somebody else that she did.
Yeah. Okay.
It's going to work itself out.
Okay.
In the future, I'm asking my guides, in the future, will you ever be able to have a relationship of some kind with her? And my guides are saying, yes, you will. And it probably is within the next year or two. It's not that far off, okay?
Okay.
But remember what I said, that you know, you have to let her have her life and she has to let you have yours.
I don't have a problem with that. It's just that I would like to have that connection. That's the only part.
Yeah, I know, but you're,
Yeah, I know. We're so much alike. I know. I know what you're saying.
you're not understanding it, but someday you will. What you're saying when you use the exact right word, I would like to have that connection. You got it?
Yeah.
Your mother-daughter connection is not the same as other people on this call have with their daughters.
Okay.
Your connection is like, you got it?
Yeah, I think I will understand it more deeply as the time goes on.
Yes, you will. But the reason you're feeling like somebody took your right arm off is because you and she were so connected, you were almost breathing for each other.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And you have to both have lives, which is why what's happening now is happening, so that you can both have a life away from the other.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, thank you.
Interesting note to end on since Valentine's Day is coming. Folks, once again, I want to wish everybody a happy, happy Valentine's Day. Have a wonderful 2024. And thank you for joining me here this evening. You guys are great, and I love you very much. So good to see you. Don't forget, our next psychic hour is February 25th. Don't forget, it's not too late to join my psychic development class. And also, don't forget, that you have until 9 o'clock to write me your simple question. If you stayed until the end, if you're hearing this, I need your name, your birthday or your sun sign, the state you're in, what you're most grateful for, and your question. Simple question, direct, specific, so that my guides know what they're answering. Goodbye. I'll see you next month.